Okay, we're in business. Great. Thanks everybody for showing up. My name is Bruce Bragagnolo. I'm the Executive Chairman of Regency Silver. And as you can see from that piece of core, and pardon me for speaking in English because that's the only language I could really make a presentation in. We've got something very special happening at our Dios Padre project in eastern Sonora, Mexico. On our very first drill hole, we drilled 36 meters of 6.84 grams of gold, along with copper and silver. And as you can see from the core, you can't really see much visible gold, but there's certainly a lot of gold in the system. We were very surprised with the gold that we found. And it looks like it's some kind of a high sulfidation / porphyry system with breccia and porphyry. So it's very unusual for Mexico. Very good widths, very good grades. It's something very special. We did follow-up drilling. You can see we've hit 38 meters of 7.36 grams per ton of gold, as well as 29.4 meters of 6.32 grams of gold. So very high grade, good widths in a very kind of a unusual for Mexico situation. We do have a resource. It's 11.375 million ounces of silver at 255 grams, mostly silver, some gold in there as well. That is 43-101 compliant. You can read that at your own time. So I've been operating in the country for a number of years. The first project we had was Continuum Resources. We merged that company with Fortuna, and the San Jose mine is now their flagship asset down in Oaxaca. Then we formed Timmins Gold and Silvermex. We sold Silvermex to First Majestic back in 2012. And Timmins Gold we took from a market cap at its IPO of $7 million to a $475 million market cap. So I really enjoy the country. Mexico has been very good to me as a person and as a business person. So it's very interesting to see the blend of Canadian finance and Mexican expertise and Mexican assets. The pictures there, we've got listing on the New York Stock Exchange back in 2012. That's the ceremony. I think we had half of the government of Mexico in the boardroom at the New York Stock Exchange for that. It was a lot of fun. That's a San Francisco mine, 22,000 ton per day open pit heap leach circuit, produced over 120,000 ounces of gold per year, and kind of ran out of gold back about 3-4 years ago. So where are we? You know, one thing that I don't think Mexicans realize, if you get out of the country, you realize just how good the infrastructure is in Mexico. We can drive on a paved highway to within 20 kilometers of the site at Dios Padre, which is right here. We could drive to within 20 kilometers of the site. You can't do that in a lot of countries. You have to build roads yourself. You have to helicopter in a lot of places. So it's a real advantage to have good tacos and beer and good roads and experienced workforce. So it makes a big difference to your stay in the country. So this is where we are. Hermosillo, as you know, is the mining hub of Sonora. We're 4 hours on a paved highway to the site. Everything comes in and out on a pickup truck. Lots of mines in the district. I would say one of the biggest success stories of the last 20 years in mining, along with Fosterville, has been Las Chispas, Silvercrest. Oops, now what have I done? Did I do that? There we go. So Las Chispas, I would say, has been one of the biggest success stories. And there's a number of mines in the district. There's La India, there's Mulatos, there's Dolores. So a very prolific mining district. But we've uncovered something a little different here. So we believe we're on the laramide porphyry belt, and that this is part of the laramide porphyry system. We're getting the rocks aged right now, but this is one of the few high sulfidation occurrences in the district. The only other one we're aware of in Sonora is La Caridad, which is a massive copper complex about 200 kilometers to the north of us. So once we get the rocks aged, we'll have a much better understanding of where we are as far as timing. This is how we started. It's funny when you look back. What we had the silver mine. There's a historic silver mine that dates back to Jesuit times. That's the top part of the system. And it had been under option in the past to First Majestic and Silver Standard, and they drilled it, but they were looking for a vertical occurrence. And there's been a lot of development and improvement in modeling software over the last few years. So we ran our own block model through Leapfrog software and came up with a decent resource. We had about 9 million ounces of silver in the top part of the system. There'd also been some IP work done by a previous option holder. And we took that IP, had a look at the dip of the mineralization at the silver mine, which is clearly the top part of the system. And we said, okay, let's poke a deep hole right through the IP anomaly, because that is different. That is a copper target, and see what we get. And we hit 36 meters of 6.8 grams of gold, 0.88 copper, and 20 grams of silver. So that's basically how it all started. This is the initial map that we were using to plan our hole. That's it. This one right here. So now, So now we've got the silver mine. The IP anomaly, it looks like it's the gaseous phase, the halo on top of the porphyry. We've now drilled into a breccia zone. We're going to be continuing with our drilling along strike of the breccia. We've also got a porphyry with copper. So the gold and the copper seem to be separate and distinct. So we have the gold in the breccia and the copper in the porphyry. So this is only with 10 holes, so we have a lot more work to do. We found the orientation of the mineralization in our last program. We were of the view initially that it might be east-west, but it looks like it's more northwest-southeast. Very wide structure. We have, I've got a video of 125 meters of mineralization. Here you can see on this side, we've got about 100 meters of very nice-looking mineralization. It's just a function of where's the grade, and the grade seems to have all it appears to be in a level, and we anticipate finding more of these levels as we go up dip and down dip. That's a picture of a very nice piece of core. The model here is a porphyry with breccia. It looks like the fluid, there's hydrothermal activity here. The steam built up in the porphyry, blasted up the breccia, and then the fluids filled in later. We've got pyrite, chalcopyrite, and andesite is the host rock that you see in the breccia. So there's a lot of quartz here, surprisingly. You can't see it that well, but there's a lot of quartz in the mineralization itself. So it's a very prolific belt going through there. You can see that, I've worked mostly out in the mega shear, and it's a lot different working up near Yakura. The mega shear is just, it's desert and hot with a lot of cover, and there's been a lot of good mines in that district. But this is a kind of an underexplored area, and it's very prolific to the north for copper, mainly in Arizona. And a geologist once told me that, there's probably 20 really big copper mines on the north part of the Laramide Porphyry Belt, and in Mexico, maybe 3. So there's a lot of room for discovery left in Mexico. Here's some of our core. I'll match it up against anybody else's if they want to slap it down on a table. This is hole 2201. Beautiful pyrite crystals in hole 2314. The specularite seems to be an important part of mineralization here with the gold. And here's our last hole, 2321. Not much, you can't really see much, no visible gold, for example, but it's very high grade. So we did IP. There's the Bilsa drill turning. We did IP in 2023. And we've got a big signature there. So the IP is indicative of where to drill. It's not conclusive, but it does give us an idea of where the gaseous phase is. We drilled a hole right through the IP target last year, and we hit a lot of pyrite, but nothing that had any grade to it. So, probably the gaseous phase at the top of the system. The silver mine itself needs more work. I mean, a lot of people would be really crowing about the high-grade silver that we've got. The widths are very good too. That's what drew us to this in the first place, was just the width combined with the grade. We've drilled 12.4 meters of over 500 grams, so that's a pretty good intercept. There's our cap table and stock chart. I think everybody took a bit of a hit last year when the new mining law came in. So we'll see what happens there. Whoops. And that's what it's like in the area. It's very easy to work there. We're 10 kilometers from a small town where we have a house. We have good access by road and easy drilling. So it's no hardship being there. And that's it. Thank you. Any questions? Hopefully not geological ones. Good. Okay, great. Thank you.